Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Shawna. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. So, as usual, we're continuing with the next video in the Surviving Cuba series. This is episode 4, I think we're at episode 4 now. So, as usual twice, we're going off of questions that I got as it relates to schooling and everything. So, a recent question that I got was, what do we do for pre-med, or what did pre-med entail? Basically, what do the years as you go along entail? So today's video is basically going to be a breakdown of the different years that I have gone through and what the subjects were when I was in school. Well, not when I was in school. When I was in that year, like what we did. Currently now, before I even start, with the situation with COVID and thing, there's some classes that are on the schedule for us to complete during that year, but we didn't do. Instead, we ended up just doing the final project or whatever because COVID was a factor and it wasn't like a fundamental course. For example, like when I say fundamental course, not that it wasn't important, but what I'm saying is that we didn't really have a final exam for it. So it wasn't a case where if you didn't do the final exam, you wouldn't have been able to progress to the next year. It was more so of one of those courses where you just do a final project and you have to pass your final project in order to get your grade for the class. So I just wanted to clear that up before we even got into it and got into the nitty-gritty. So we're starting straight from first year when you just come to Cuba, like Spanish and pre-med. And then we're going to go to first year and second year. I'm currently still in second year because of the COVID situation. If you've been watching and following for a while, you know that I came home in February and I got stuck here because the Cuban border closed. And then when they started back school, I wasn't there to continue. So my friends are starting in third year now, and I'm going back up in September to try and hurry up and finish second year to finally start third year. I don't know how it's gonna go, but pray for me because y'all know it's gonna be hard. Everything is so rushed and fast paced now. It's gonna be hard, but it's just something that I have to do. So now that we do all of that intro, let's go into it. This video includes photographic evidence, physical evidence of my report cards that I have received, scandal in my life and everything. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone. I did make notes for this video just so that I could give you all exactly what we're doing. So basically, I wrote down that I wanted to cover the importance of exams, what's in first, second year, and is there hands-on practice? That's also something that I get asked a lot, if there's hands-on practice in the first and second year, and also Guardia and the grading system. What is Guardia? What's the grading system like? All right, so now that I just tell you everything we're going to go through, we're going to start. So starting with pre-med and first year, those are what I have my report cards for. I don't have a first year yet, even though I completed first year. Administration there is not the best. You go several times to get one thing, it takes a while, it is annoying. Trust, no one knows that more than I do, but you just deal with it. Anyway, so the first certificación de calificaciones del curso académico 2017 to 2018, I do not understand about it. For estudiante la Shawna, y'all don't need to know my middle name, but Williams. So it looks like this. It's just like a little printout. Okay, it's showing up so you can see it and everything. At the bottom, I'm wondering if I put it up closer, if y'all will be able to see it. We're gonna talk about, no, you can't see it, so I'm gonna read it. We're gonna talk about the, where is it? Categoria. We're gonna talk about the categorías de evaluación. Sorry. So basically, that's how Cuba grades their stuff. We're just gonna address that first. So, Cuba's grading system. If you're from the Caribbean, you know that ours, like Jamaican and thing, when they go by CSEC and such, it usually is 1 is the highest, 2 good, 3 still a pass, and then 4 go down is when you fail, right? Similar thing with Cape. In Cuba, it's kind of the opposite. So the lowest grade that you can get in Cuba is a 2. So whenever you're quizzing your friends and them say something wrong or whatever, or if there's a blog in the future and y'all see me in a study session and I'm like, dos, it means that the person got it wrong. 2. So 2 is the lowest, dos. 3 is a pass, that's a tres. 4 is very good, and 5 is excellent. Now, 4 means that you got one thing wrong, and 5 means that every single thing is right. You would love to get a 5. That means you're complete bright experts. You literally just put every single answer that they need back on the paper, and it's so great, and you're so incredibly good with your knowledge and everything. Big up to you, that's not me. At least not with most stuff, but for some stuff, sure, but not with most. Anyway, so everybody wants to get a 4 and a 5, right? In my very first semester in Cuba, which would be the preparatory year, you would do Spanish first, and the name of Spanish for that year is Idioma Español para los Hispanohablantes, which basically means it's Spanish for people who don't speak Spanish, who aren't from a Spanish-speaking country. You don't come from there, you don't know no Spanish. This is the course that you would have to do. It's either you do this or you would do a test if you know Spanish to be able to certify that, hey, this person knows Spanish. It's about $70 at the time. I don't know if it increased now, it was $70 to do the test. And if you pass, then you would just start straight into med school if you came, like, say med school starts September, if you came like in late August, which is when, before COVID, we would have gone up to prepare to start our pre-med course or to start our Spanish course, and then pre-med will come months later. So if you passed that test because you know Spanish and you're able to speak fluently and you're able to write it properly, then you would just progress on to med school same time. You wouldn't have to do the preparatory year. That test would just be to prove that you can speak it at a level that they need you to, for them to say, yeah man, she can go on med school, or he can go into med school, or whatever school it is that you're applying to, right? So now for this, as I said, it's a 6 months course of Spanish. You know, pre-COVID era, it was just right as you start, you could come anytime. There were literally people who were starting in January. The latest group that came they came in February. They didn't end up doing pre-med because, as I said, it's a 6 month course. So they just did the Spanish, and then after they went into med school with us in September. The mandatory, what you need to do, the mandatory one is Spanish. Pre-med is a choice. You don't have to do pre-med, it's optional. But I always recommend that if you are a new med student and you didn't speak Spanish before, you're not fluent in Spanish, you should do pre-med. Because it helps you a lot. I'm telling you, at the end of the Spanish course, you don't speak Spanish enough to be starting in a university. I'm telling you. You don't feel like you speak Spanish, like you don't feel equipped enough to be like, let me go in this classroom and succeed. You could, if you're just that bright person, but Premed definitely helped me a lot. So it was 6 months of Spanish, which is just basic Spanish. You're learning to do paragraphs, conversational Spanish. Your teachers work with you and everything. They usually group you in a small group. Cuban classes really aren't usually that big unless you start in university. But in that first year, it's usually like 5 people to a group, 10 people in a group. Like, the class is very small and intimate, so that the teachers are always able to come and deal with people and assist with any problems that they might have. They're very good at just interacting with them students and like making sure that no kid gets left behind or no young adult gets left behind. It's that kind of environment, right? So that was that. If y'all really want to know, I got 3 for that. I just passed. I wasn't no brilliant person in Spanish and thing. At first, like, it was hard. Conjugations were hard. They still are. So I got 3 for that. Then pre-med came, and that was another 6 months. So I'm gonna tell you all the subjects that we did in that year. We did in pre-med biology, chemistry. It's in Spanish, but I'm gonna just tell you. Biology, chemistry, math, physics, Spanish 2, introduction to history and medicine, introduction to science of health, geography of health, learn to learn. That was, of course, yes, aprender, learn to learn. Fuentes de información y informática, which basically means sources of information and informatica. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you all what all of these courses were. Biology, chem, and math and physics, I feel like are pretty explanatory. It's kind of like CAPE level. So yeah. It was just that in the couple months, you just have to pass. The classes weren't extremely hard, as the teachers were really good. As long as you follow and you study and thing, you'd be fine. If you need help, they will give you help. There was a lot of quizzes that you would get throughout the weeks. So like that's a thing over there. Like you learn something, there's a class where they further explain it, and if you have any questions, then you can go through it. And then you have your quiz at the end of the week. That would add up to your grade, which just keeps adding up, and there's like a course grade that they add to like your final exam grade, and then that gives you your final grade. That's really how things work over there. Even when you start university, you get the lecture, the tie-year class, which is basically, as I told you, the explanation. If anybody have any questions or whatever to clarify anything, that class everything will be explained in that class if you need it. And then you have your quiz at the end of the week. That's how the system works. So chemistry, bio, pretty standard, it was okay. Math, somebody asked me the other day if it was pure math that we did or calculus. I don't remember. It had some algebra and some calculus in there. And my teacher was really nice. The math wasn't hard. Like, the teachers are really good. If you need help, you just ask them and they will help you. So you will have a good time following along with everything. Okay. You'll have a good time following along with everything. You won't really feel lost. And if you do feel lost, don't be afraid to ask for help. They will help you, and they're not going to make you like feel dumb or like you should know this or anything. Even if they do, just brush it off and continue with your parents' money. It don't really matter. So yeah. And physics. Physics wasn't hard. Physics was literally physics was hard. We never knew if we were passing physics because like the teachers, it was 2 males. I remember them. They were so quirky. Like literally, they'd be there and then we like talking, and then all we just sit down. Like they'd come and they'd play like a video for class, and then they'd explain whatever. And you ask the question, and they don't really answer the question. The tests were not easy, and you never ever get back your grade. But at the end of it, we passed though. I got a 5 in physics. I don't know how that works, but anyway, I got the highest grade in physics. Not overall, just a 5, the highest you can get. And then Espanol, which is Spanish too. This version of Spanish is like, we did like full on like stories, like a full explanation, a full letter to like a family member, XYZ. Like it was very like more of the complex version of Spanish, whereas the first one was just kind of basic. Like describe your favorite this, a lot of adjectives, a lot of that, and then this one was a lot more of the tenses, like write a letter to your mother telling her how life in Cuba is, write a letter to your friend in Cuba or wherever, explaining, or Spain, explaining to them what life in Jamaica was like, where did you go, what was your favorite type of food, who was your favorite person to hang out with, what restaurant would you go to, like stuff like that. You had to write a lot of. Introduction to history and medicine. There were a lot of unnecessary subjects in that year that you'd sit down in there and you're like, why are we doing this? But this was one of them. As much as a lot of everything was an unnecessary subject. In my opinion, I was very much in that year, like why we had this. But introduction to history and medicine, you couldn't really sleep in the class. Then you couldn't sleep because the teachers would wake you up, but it was one of those classes where you would want to sleep and you were very bored. It was a lot of like them playing it on the projector, and you're just learning about medicine in Cuba, like the history of med in Cuba. It was very interesting. But one thing I do remember, my teacher had like her bachelor's, her master's, and she had a PhD, like, and she was a nurse for like how many years, like in them system and thing. Like your teachers are extremely qualified and they're older, because she was real old. She was like maybe late 60s, but they're extremely qualified and stuff. So even though you waste your time, when you hear like all their qualifications and things, you're like baffled. And that's kind of like the norm over there. The Cuban people are very educated, like they're really into school. So next, introduction to Ciencias de la Salud. Introduction to Sciences of Health. I don't remember that class, but I passed. That's what's important. Actually, I got a 5. Geography of Health. Don't remember what that class entailed. Got a 5. All of them, the unnecessary ones, I got a 5. Apprender. I got a 4. I don't know to this day how I got a 4, because I'm like, it was the dumbest class ever. Literally, the class name Learn How to Learn. The class was so dumb. I can't tell you what we did in there. I did not learn a thing, but just that you must study. And I think they told you the different ways that you could study. I don't know how I got a 4. Anyway, it's still a good grade, but why didn't I get a 5? Like. Anyway, the last one is Fuentes de Información y Informática. This class, it takes place in like a computer lab. It seems dumb at the time, but it helps a lot. Basically, in this class, they teach you how to use the Cuban sites. That there's a specific one, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to tell them because I get myself in problem. When you start school, you will learn. There's a specific Cuban site that you need to know the extension for to be able to access the information that is there. It's not like a secret site thing, but it does entail like all of the journals, medical journals and everything that the Cuban people use and Cuban students use to like look up information like symptoms, different studies, different medical journals and stuff like that that people have done research on and they want to just keep people updated on it. You're not gonna find it if you just Google it. So they taught us in that class how to maneuver that specific site and how to like quote things, how to do reference in the Vancouver method, I think it was. Yeah, because that's the method that they use for projects in school, like university, in that entire time. Just like everything that you would need to know in school when you need to do your researches and how to find information to put in your projects. It ended up being very helpful. I still go back to the PowerPoint from that class when I need to do my bibliography for a project because kind of technical, but that's exactly what they want when you start school. They don't want nothing else. You have to use the Vancouver method. So you go back to it and you just follow the steps and it's good. Class was good though. It was very boring to me at the time because it would always take place in the evening and we were coming from a cycle where literally for your first semester where it was only Spanish alone, if you were good or you were progressing properly in the class, you'd only come to school in the morning. So it used to be like a morning break and then you come back in the evening for like an hour or two. When we were in Spanish 1, we literally just have class in the morning and then the rest of the day we're free. Literally, that was it. But then when Premed started, it was like class in the morning, lunch, class in the evening. And after 6 months of not being used to that, 6 months with that on, we'd take it on because most of us would sleep in the evening. But yeah. And yeah, my overall grades were 5 for biology, 4 for chem. Chem has never been my friend. 5 for math, 5 for physics, 4 for Spanish in the second time around, up from the 3. Hey. 5 for introduction to history and medicine, 5 for introduction to science of health, 5 for geography of health, 4 for aprender, learn how to learn, and 5 for sources of information and informatical. My GPA for the overall semester was, where is it? 4.7 GPA, yeah. That didn't have yet. If you've seen my 2 truths and a lie video and I said that I've never had a GPA of 4 point whatever, that's it. Or 3.85, that was my GPA for the overall course. Yeah, that was how I did it. It was because of that. I think that concludes this very long video. I don't know if this is going to be a part 1 and part 2, or I'm just going to make it one long video and just give it to y'all. I was about to say let me know in the comments, but this is at the end, so you would already know. Yeah. So whichever one I chose, y'all would have seen. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm sorry it was so long if it's just the one long one. But I just wanted to cover every single thing to let y'all know. Disclaimer. If you have any more questions, please feel free to DM me. My DMs are always open. I always respond. If you message me and I don't see it because we're not following each other, so it would be in the requests. If you need me to see it, either follow me and like some pictures or just like the pictures. I've seen people do that, like they'll send a message and then they'll follow me and like the pictures and then I'm curious and I'll go check on their page. If it look like it's somebody that's in my age group, I usually go check if like they sent me a request because normally that's just how it works. So I'm just saying, if you message me and I don't see it same time to respond to you, if you like a couple pictures, I will go and look. Like, I will notice that notification and then I will go and look. Because you know the request one, all the time it don't come through when it's a message request. So I'm just saying, make your life easier to do that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are enjoying the Surviving Cuba series. I'm really trying to just get all the questions out of the way. If you have any more, please comment them down below or DM me. As I said, it gives me more content. Yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. If you're not already subscribed, please go smash that subscribe button. Like this video if it helped you. The likes helps with the engagement and for YouTube to recommend them to more people. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.